Everyone, welcome to our week 14 video lesson. So this is going to be our last normal class because this is the last week that you have a video assignment due before the final exam. Next week there won't be an official assignment. You'll submit your semester self-assessment and then all you'll have left is the final exam. So this will be the last one where we're actually doing a full assignment for this week, a video assignment. So let's go ahead and jump in. You have your technique activities for today, which are the major and harmonic minor scales in E-flat major and E-flat minor, and then also the major and minor chord inversions from page 28 in E-flat. So just like the last couple weeks, I'm not going to demonstrate these today because I think that you guys have a pretty good grasp on these by now. It's pretty straightforward, but if you want any of these demonstrated in any part, just absolutely let me know, and I'm happy to create a short video for you, demonstrate it in class, office hours, whatever, if you need a little bit of help with that. But otherwise, just make sure you're paying attention to the note names and the finger numbers especially, and you should be good to go. Then we'll go ahead and jump into our pages from the unit this week. So we have some technique exercises on page 160 and 161. We've got our dominant seventh arpeggios. So we've got kind of the last two that are sort of in the miscellaneous finger patterns. We have the first one, which is the F sharp, which starts on finger 2 and goes 2, 3, 4, 1. This is another one. This is a little uncomfortable for a little hand to play 2, 3, 4 on those notes right there. So just make sure that you're keeping a nice relaxed wrist while you practice that one. And then the next one again has you starting on 4, but for number 2 here in B flat, you can absolutely start on 2. It's no problem to start on 2 for that one instead of starting on 4 in the right hand. You can absolutely start on 2 and play 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a problem at all. Then we have another little activity at the bottom of the page, which is holding thumb and playing fifth finger. And then having you do it the same thing with the left hand. And some similar activities on 1 through 6 on page 161. And then at the bottom of the page, playing the full chords with your hand and then jumping down the octave with the left hand. And so I'm jumping down to play that bass note, my left hand. Just to practice having to jump with the left hand, jumping down an octave, and then doing it, same thing, going down. And so on. So those would all be great ones to practice, especially maybe kind of think about which of these you feel like would help to practice a skill that you're having trouble with or something that you feel like you could improve in your playing, and maybe focus on what you think would be the most beneficial for you. Then we'll go ahead and move right along and look at our solo rep for today. So this one is a really fun solo rep. I really like it. So this is a theme and variations on Bach's Minuet in G major, which you guys have probably heard before. Really cute, wonderful theme that a lot of people really love and enjoy. And then we have the variation in a number of different styles. So we have a classical style variation that is actually accurate and pretty classical. Then we have a romantic style variation, which is actually romantic. They do understand style. And then they have the contemporary style with some change in meter, which is pretty cool. And then they have the ragtime style at the bottom, which is maybe my favorite. It's so much fun. So what I would like for you guys to do for your practice on this one is go through and notice first, find the theme, find the outline of the original theme in each piece, and it's mostly the right hand stays pretty similar. We add a little bit of chromaticism in the classical style one and the ragtime style. So we're pretty much keeping the structure the same, but adding some additional notes in there. And then in the romantic and the contemporary style, we have a little bit more changes in hand position. So then you can go through and sort of outline the structure of the left hand. So for moving the Baroque one is fairly simple. It's mostly just one note at a time. But then for the other ones, you can really think about outlining the chord structure. So for classical, you can see that we have a lot of the sort of makings of our chord progression in the left hand. We have a lot of blocked chords in the romantic style one, and you can outline what those chords are. Similar, lots of blocked chords in contemporary, and then we have a little bit of a broken chord pattern in the ragtime style. But you can still outline which chord is mostly present in each measure. And then you're going to work hands separately. I would go through and also tap out the rhythms on at least, especially probably the classical style, the contemporary style, and the ragtime style. Those have a little bit more rhythmic variation than the other two. And then definitely practice hands separately, practice very slowly, and then you'll put both hands together and try this one all the way through. And I'll just go ahead and right now give you a quick demo of what it will sound like put all together. If you want to hear any section done hands separately, done at a particular slow tempo, feel free to just let me know, and I'm happy to provide that. But again, so this will be one of your options to choose for the final exam. I love this one. There are really good solo rep options for this exam. It's going to be a tough call, but this is one of the most fun solo reps in the book, I think. So you'll definitely have the option to choose this one. So here we go with our theme and variations from the very beginning. And notice that there are different tempo assigned for each. So feel free to start at a tempo that fits each style, but don't feel like you need to keep it exactly consistent for all of the variations. Lots of different fun characters, lots of really cool stylistic things in this one. And again, you'll have lots of time to practice this because you won't need to do this one until the final exam if you choose this one for your final exam solo rep. But again, I would encourage you to play it through just for your own enjoyment and start working on this one. So we'll go ahead and move right along and look over at these sight readings that we have on 164 and 165. So these are a little bit longer than the readings that we've had in the past. You typically were used to about 2 lines, and so these are a little bit longer, and no transpositions on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play these through for you from the beginning, and then you'll choose one of these to play for your video assignment this week. So we have a Little Blues, which is a little bluesier style one, and then we have the Chorale, which is a little bit more classical style. So you could choose whichever one you were the most interested in, whichever one you like best. And I'll just go ahead and play both so you can hear. And I went ahead and I swung the eighth notes on that one. You don't have to, or you can. It's completely your call. If you want to do it very straight, it doesn't sound bad like this. That works just fine, or you can swing them. Totally up to you. So here we go with chorale on page 168, a little bit more classical style. So with this one, very similar to the chord progressions that we've done lately with the single note in the bass line and then a chord in the right hand. So if you practice this one, you might want to kind of go through and outline what the chords are in the right hand, and that would serve you very well. And then we'll move on and we'll go ahead and take a look at our score reading, or our harmonizations that we have on page 166. So we have two harmonizations that you can choose from for this. And both of these are ones where we will have written in the chords in class. And so what you'll do is you'll choose one of these to perform for your video assignment with the transposition. And so I'll go ahead and demonstrate this how we normally do. I'll go ahead and play through it hands separately and then play it hands together in the original key and then do the same thing transposed. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I'll demonstrate the first one on page 166. You can choose between that one or My Home is in Montana, totally your choice. This one, I think the chords sound strange. So we went with the best interpretation of what the chord should be, but I think it still sounds a little bit weird. So if you find a chord progression that you like better than what we assigned in class to play with this, that's also okay. If you want to change around just a couple of the chords, that's totally fine. But I'll go ahead and play you what I came up with for the chords. So we're doing a broken chord accompaniment pattern. So here we go, saying the chords out loud. 1 and 2, ready, go. 1. 1. 4, 5, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. Pretty straightforward. I would say that the first line is where it's a little bit variable. The second line is pretty straightforward. That sounds like the only real option for what the chords would be. But if you want to kind of adjust some things with the first line, that's totally fine with me. Here is the melody. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. Shift. Shift again. And here we go with both hands together. Ready, go. 1. 1. Perfect. So here we go with the left hand transposed to B flat. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. 1, 1, 4, 5, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. And here we go with the left or the right hand part transposed to B flat. Ready, go. And here we go with both hands. Ready, go. 1, 1, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 1, 2, 5, 7, 1. Excellent. And so then you can also practice the same steps for My Home is in Montana at the bottom of the page, filling the chords in and everything, and then choose one of those to submit for your video. So the first one, the aria from the Marriage of Figaro, is a pretty simple one. This is the transposing instrument for F horn. So this transposes down a perfect fifth from the note that's written. And we also add one flat to our key signature and or take away one sharp from our key signature. So for Marriage of Figaro, this one is pretty simple. The second line looks a little bit scarier, but if you really just think that this is mostly just playing the notes of the broken chord, really just the notes of that chord that we already have been playing, just focusing on the notes of that B flat major chord, it's fairly straightforward. So we got to find our starting pitch, and then we're going to be focusing on the direction of the notes, going up or going down, and focusing on our key signature. You can play this one with left or right hand. It doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to go with left hand. And so we'll start on the F right above middle C, which sounds 1. That's 1/5 down from the written note. Ready, go. So if you really just think about this second line being mostly just arpeggiating the notes of the B flat major chord and just focusing on, okay, if using solfege here could be really helpful if you enjoy using solfege as a tool for your learning. And focusing on that could be really helpful because it's fairly straightforward. And if you just kind of read the directions of the notes going up and down and just focus on it being in the notes in that triad, it'd be simple. So the next thing we have is the Lonesome Road Blues. We have an oboe part which plays in the written pitch. So oboe part is already written in concert pitch. And then we have the F horn, which sounds a fifth down. We are changing our key signature by subtracting one sharp. So both of them are going to be in the key of G, just one sharp at a time. So what you're going to do for this one is play through just the oboe part. fairly straightforward. Then we're going to play the F horn part. So the important thing to remember is this. All we have is F sharps in the key signature, so we're going to be starting on a B natural because as it's written as a, the written note is an F sharp. So that means that's why it's not B flat, it's B natural because we've always got a perfect fit from the F sharp. So we're going to be starting on B natural. Then we're going to be going, then this, what looks like a C natural is going to become F natural. E flat, all normal. That's our F sharp right there, and then we go up to G. This is a unison with the oboe part right here, so you want to notate this. This G in the second to last measure is a unison. F natural, E, E flat, E, C, E natural. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it, both hands together. Definitely practice it several times with each hand separately until you feel comfortable, and then we'll go ahead and put it together with both hands. 1, ready, go. Sounds pretty nice together, a little bit of a pretty cool part. So you can choose either the Aria from the Meredith Girl or the Lonesome Road Blues. Obviously the Lonesome Road Blues is a little bit trickier because we've got both parts, but it'd be a great thing for you to practice and a great opportunity for you to work on reading with two parts at the same time. So then we'll go ahead and take a look at the choral score on page 168, Gloria TV. So for this one, we have just 3 parts. They're not labeling them by voice here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through and play each of the 3 parts separately. So part 1 with the right hand alone, part 2 with the right hand alone. Then try putting them together. Then playing part 3, which will be played with your left hand. And then you can pair the parts and play 1 and 3, and then 2 and 3, and then all 3 together. The things that you want to go through and mark are the unisons between the parts 1 and 2. We have a couple of unisons in the first line. And then in the second line, you want to just kind of maybe mark some of the bigger leaps, especially in the part 1, to kind of show you how that hand is going to be moving. Then we'll go ahead and try playing this all together from the very beginning, all 3 parts together, so that you can hear how this will sound. 1, ready, go. There you go. So it ends a little bit anticlimactically. Another thing that you might want to do with this one would be to play through or tap through the rhythms first. Because we have on the second line, bum, 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 bum. So you might want to just kind of tap through that and make sure that you are comfortable playing the rhythms right there. Then lastly, we have a vocal accompaniment score on page 169. So for this one, what I'll do is I'll play through the piano part, and then I'll play through the vocal line. So that way you can play the vocal line with the accompaniment, and then play the accompaniment with the vocal line. If you yourself are a singer, or you have a friend who is a singer, feel free to have them sing along with you. That would be super cool. I'm not going to do it 3 times. I'm just going to do it once. But you're welcome to do it 3 times if it pleases you to do it that way. So here's the piano part. This one we have mostly just one note at a time in the left hand, and then kind of a chord in the right hand. So you might want to kind of practice hands separately, focusing on getting the jumps in the left hand and getting the chords correct in the right hand. So here we go with this one from the very beginning. Ready, go. So an important thing to think about when you play the accompaniment part is thinking about where the singer needs to breathe, and also thinking about where your singer has expressive markings like the fermata, ritardando, etc., and making sure that you are aware of that. So now I'll go ahead and play just the vocal line one time through, and you can perform it with the accompaniment. Ready, go. And there would be the end of your part. Excellent. So you can again go ahead and try that playing both parts along with the part that I played. So play the accompaniment and then also play the vocal part with the accompaniment. So that's what you got for this week. So your assignments will be to turn in your major and harmonic minor scales in E flat, your major and minor chord inversions from page 28 in E flat, one of the two sight readings, one of the two harmonizations with transposition, and one of the two transposing melody parts on page 167. And that will be your final weekly assignment for the semester, which is crazy. So that's what you've got. Please let me know if you have any questions, or again, if there's something that you specifically would like demonstrated or would like me to go over again, feel free to come to office hours or just ask me and I can make you a quick recording. So happy practicing and see you next time.